This is an interesting story that it might take a little time for us to unpack. So Uber, kind of fascinated with this story, but the implications are pretty staggering. So Uber has expanded its self-driving car pilot to San Francisco. It has started picking up passengers. Like, they've rolled it out, self-driving cars. They have a brand. It's you can see behind me on the screen. There's a Volvo that they use in this, and Uber. Each Uber, they do have a driver in the driver's seat for the time being, but the car is being automated. It's automated driving, right? So any customer who requests an Uber X using the app, they're eligible for a ride in one of the new Volvos that is self-driving. So eventually, the goal is to have the cars pick up people without drivers. Now, two implications here. One, for them to be in this level of beta testing, that means that they've been doing this for a while without the city knowing. Because a part of the story is that the fact that that San Francisco, it was unbeknownst to San Francisco, and so they're in this stage of beta testing, which means they've been having self-driving cars on the road for some time without anybody knowing, which is, in a way, it's a testament to the technology, but also is a little unnerving when you think about the implications, right? But anyway, but the most important part of this story, actually, I want to add on top of this story, Amazon Prime Direct today delivered their first same day 30-minute drone delivery, and actually it took 13 minutes for the drone to get from their warehouse to the person's home. It was in the Cambridgeshire countryside, and I'm sorry, it wasn't today, it was December 7th that it was delivered. The drones are loaded at a fulfillment center. You know the story. They're packed up, they have flown out to the location. This is, so it's both exciting because of the applications of technology, but very, very sobering when you think of the ramifications for labor, right? Because the first thing I thought of was like, hell, I don't know about the self-driving cars yet, but let me order something from Amazon, and if I can get in 13 minutes, then let me order it now, right? But the immediate thought in my mind is like, this is legit taking jobs away from an entire sector, right? We're talking about taking millions of jobs away. I mean, Amazon has already started this process of replacing FedEx and UPS and the United Postal Service by hiring out their own drivers and buying their own vans. So they already started this process of cannibalizing their competition. But now when you add on top of the drone delivery as well as the self-driving cars, vis-a-vis Uber and Google's technology, you can clearly see the picture of where we're going here, right? We're going to a labor-free society. We're going to a world where we don't need people to ship. We don't need people to serve you your fast food. We don't need people to drive your cars. So you're looking at the taxi business. You're looking at the Uber business. I mean, the Uber and Lyft industry, right? All these freelancers, they're getting ready to be quickly taken out of the market as soon as self-driving cars comes fully online. Which really takes us to another conversation altogether, is like, this is not a tenable progression of technological change underneath our current economic structure. Basically, this ain't gonna work without some level of socialism and some level of basic income. Because we're talking about, let me look at the numbers here with Uber, right? Even with Uber, we're talking about they have 327,000 drivers as of December of 2015. So I don't even know. It's a year later. I don't even know what their current number of drivers are. You're talking about 233,000 taxi drivers. In the fast food industry, you're talking about 3.6 million people who are eventually going to be replaced by robots, right? There's a huge push to get robots to replace people in spite of or because of the push for 15. And then you think about UPS, FedEx, and the United States Postal Service. You're talking about 1.2 million. We're talking about millions of people who are slated to have their jobs completely replaced by some form of automation or self-driving cars or drones. And not a single conversation is being had on what our society and our economy can or should look like in the presence of automation. And you know who else is not having this conversation? Clearly, Republicans and conservatives are not having this conversation. But when that conversation comes around to liberals and neoliberals, the conversation becomes, oh, well, you should just retool. Go back to school. Some of the people driving Uber, they're professors. They're people who are just trying to, because the cost of living in your city had gotten so high that they needed an extra job. So it's not, we have been avoiding a very necessary conversation for a very long time. And now we're getting to the point where we're getting ready to hit critical mass when millions of people will be able to be replaced by automation and by self-driving cars and by drone delivery. We're not going to be able to move forward with that new economy without either completely ravaging an entire sector, an entire block of the American population, or having conversations about the necessity of basic income. I thought that story was pretty revealing and telling in terms of the conversations, our politics, we're not keeping up with technology. Our political leaders are not keeping up with technology, and we're getting to a critical point where they're getting ready to hear from the people who are going to be hurt by this technology.